Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some consequences for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Posted to UhOhConsequences, as a reminder mine is UhOhConsequences, by acceptable mode 6757. Can't fucking escape that number. Originally posted to r/best of. The post itself was collected by our good old friend Direct Caterpillar 77, whose tagline is, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Purple Winner 8587, posted to r/AmITheAsshole February 7th, 2023. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to go and ask to be adopted by the couple she's so obsessed with? My girlfriend Katie made a new friend a few months ago, Mary. Katie talked about her a lot. Mary said this, did that, started teaching her something, etc. I thought it was a bit weird how much Katie seemed to look up to Mary, but I didn't think much of it. Until Mary's husband, Joe, entered the picture too. From then on, Katie talked about their relationship all the time. How they do things, how they divide the chores, That's a weird one to bring up. How respectful are they to each other? Basically, how they're just the best couple ever. I've met them too, and they're honestly nothing special, maybe a bit on the boring side even. Yesterday evening, Katie was once again going on about them, saying things like Mary and Joe are true soulmates, and theirs is the healthiest relationship she had ever seen, blah 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 blah. I had a really fucking long day at work, so I told her I don't want to hear about them. I don't care about her creepy crush on this random-ass couple. But if she likes them so much, she should go and ask them to adopt her, or ask if she can be their third. Katie then gave me the cold shoulder and left to go home to her apartment instead of sleeping at my place like she was supposed to. I need to know if I'm right and her obsession is creepy, or if I'm not seeing something right and I'm the asshole here. Am I the asshole? Verdict! Asshole. Relevant comments. RayWenCube. You're the asshole. My friend, she's trying to tell you what she wants out of your relationship without hurting you or making you feel defensive. User Practical Entry 7623 comments further. While you're not wrong and he is the asshole, she needs to open her mouth and actually say what she wants. All of this hinting and subliminal messaging is not the way, and all it's doing is creating discord. He isn't picking up on hints. All he sees is her constantly fawning over two people, and he doesn't get it even after meeting them. If she wants her boyfriend to change, then she needs to lay it out for him what she's looking for in a relationship. User Mrs. Cat's Meow comments. To be fair to Katie, a bunch of internet strangers read a secondhand account of what she said, and we got it. User Alarming Reply 6286 comments. You're the asshole. Bet Joe would never tell Mary to shut up. Do you often feel threatened from hearing that other people have their shit together? Katie was talking about her friends. That's a pretty normal conversation. You're taking it personally? Why? Do you think Katie is trying to tell you something? User Preference Hungry 8181 comments. You're the asshole. She's trying to tell you what she wants in y'all's relationship, and you're just showing her that you don't give a shit. OP updated the same day on the same post. Update. She finally texted me back. She wrote a long-ass message saying that she had tried everything with me, and she thought if she was patient and clear about her needs, I would eventually change for her. But she realized, thanks to Mary and Joe, that it's not her job to raise a man and get her boyfriend to respect her. She wrote a lot of other things about Mary too, like that Mary is truly proud of her husband and looks up to him. Meanwhile, she, Katie, can't find it in herself to look up to me in anything. And so on. So yeah, I hope you all are happy you got what you wanted. The thing is, bud, actually what people wanted was for you to realize your girlfriend was dropping mad hints that she wanted you to be more involved and committed in the relationship, and you just didn't. Which, the way that you wrote this here tells me there's a lot more stuff she actually did firmly and fundamentally tell you, but you couldn't put one and two together, that her asking you for help with the chores or other things that she potentially did, or, you know, as you said, being patient and clear about her needs, that you couldn't put one and two together, that her saying those and then talking about what Mary and Joe are doing in their relationship was actually her just trying to communicate that, hey, what I'm asking for isn't fucking crazy. Here's another couple. They do this exact thing. Look how cute this is. Look how good they are for each other. Look how healthy this is. And your response was, well, why don't you go get adopted by them then? Buddy, Reddit just wanted you to open your eyes and look at the big picture, but instead you're taking the self-victimizing route of, are you all happy? You got what you wanted. Like, shut the fuck up. This happened because you couldn't take accountability, my dude. Posted to UhOhConsequences by Inferno Finite. This one has updates to it, but it's not a best of, it's a relationship post that has an update linked within it. The first post goes as follows. I haven't spoken to my son ever since he stabbed my boyfriend, and I want to reach out. This is going to be long. I'm 49 and I've been divorced for 10 years. My ex-husband and I had 2 children, 25-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old son. I met a new man 3 years ago. We're in a long-term relationship, but we don't want to be married. We both agreed that marriage is too expensive and actually worsens relationships. He has schizophrenia on top of other issues, but he receives medication for it. But recently, because of the pandemic, he hasn't been himself and got off his medication. He lashed out nonstop, especially at my son. My son has been dating a girl, she's 18, for nearly 2 years. I suspect they've been secretly dating for longer, but he wasn't allowed to date until 16. My son is a new dad. He had a baby girl in February. I still am, disappointed in him because now his future is on hold. He's decided to postpone furthering his education so his girlfriend can go to school because the career she wants requires more schooling than his. I was always strict with him and his girlfriend. Couldn't hang out alone, had to be chaperoned in public, etc. When I found out he was planning to buy condoms, I grounded him. Are you for fucking real? I had to reboot there for a moment because you caused me to actually blue screen. Grounds your son for buying condoms instead of seeing this as, okay, they're gonna have sex anyway, so I may as well, encourage them to have it safely. You ground him for trying to do that, and now, suddenly, he's a new father, and now you're disappointed with him because his future's on hold. Whose fucking fault is that? They're teenagers. Educate them. Don't punish them. Anyways, after OP grounded her son for trying to buy condoms, a responsible thing to do, might I add, he was absolutely not allowed to leave the house, and I made sure of it, which is why I still don't know how he managed to knock her up. I asked him why they thought unprotected sex was a good idea. You have some fucking nerve. He told me they thought using the Plan B was birth control. I didn't speak to him for the longest because I wouldn't have had anything good to say. I was too sad for him. Before people comment, it was my fault thinking I'd be able to successfully keep teens from having sex. It's still mostly his. You have to know unprotected sex equals raising children. My boyfriend, still off the meds, did not believe the baby was my son's because of her skin. Baby is mixed, son's white, girlfriend is black. He would go back and forth between accusing his girlfriend of cheating and accusing me of secretly having a baby. I'd never entertained his mess, but my son always argued. In April, things really went to shit. I was not home when any of it happened. My boyfriend was drunk and took my granddaughter from my son's hands. He kept asking my son why nobody loves him. My son was trying to grab his baby back, but my boyfriend kept repeatedly asking about being loved. My boyfriend hit my son in the face. My son did not hit back because he was holding a child. My son had water boiling on the stove because he was preparing to make something. My boyfriend told him that he was gonna drop the baby in the water. He started running towards the kitchen with my son behind him. My son picked up a knife that was resting on the counter and stabbed my boyfriend in his back shoulder in desperation. Your son's going to be a good father. After he got his baby, he called 911 and told them everything. My boyfriend was taken to the hospital. He did make sure to let help know my boyfriend is mentally ill, which I appreciated. When I was told about the situation, I was scared that my boyfriend would die from the injury. My son accused me of only caring for him. He asked me why I didn't ask if he was all right. It's not that I only care about my boyfriend, it's that only one person was harmed, and it wasn't my son. My boyfriend has been placed in a psychiatric ward. Truthfully, I stopped talking to my son. I was confused and sad and hurt. I do understand adrenaline rush, but he still tried to kill my boyfriend. I don't blame him at all, and I'm thankful my granddaughter is safe, but I'm also depressed about my boyfriend. Mental illnesses are really misunderstood. People with mental disorders are not properly cared for in society. My son picked up the emotions I felt in the moment. He left. He and his daughter are currently at his sister's house. His girlfriend is in the process of getting an apartment because her uncle is abusive physically. I've tried calling and texting my son, but get no answer. I guess we both need space. Really, what I fear is loneliness. With my boyfriend not at home, I was sad. Now with my son gone, I just want him back home. I'm getting older. Both of my kids are grown/nearly grown. My ex-husband divorced me after years together. I finally find a man and he's not here anymore. I guess my problem is loneliness. I would like to explain this to my son, but he has to respond to me first. How do I get him to talk with me again? What do I say that I haven't already said? No, I do care about my granddaughter's life, Jesus Christ! It doesn't come across that way. Your boyfriend tried to boil your granddaughter alive, and your son stopped it. Update. I posted some days ago about my issues with my son, 17 male. Here's the link. It says remove, but the original text post is in the top comment. I'm also having to post this from a throwaway since I was suspended for a rude comment I made. Despite the hundreds of thousands of rude comments towards me, about me, I did get a lot of comments saying that I need to apologize and make it clear that I'll get therapy. I took the actual helpful advice. I texted my son yesterday. I had to text multiple times to make him respond. I told him that I'm seeking therapy, and I'm serious about it. The comments were right when they said I had mental issues. I do have depression, but maybe there's more. I was obsessed with having a man in my life. I was scared of being lonely. All I wanted was to be cared for by somebody, but I cared too little about others in the process. I tried to explain this to my son, but I'm sure I did not do it well. I did not bring up the stabbing. It happened last month, and so when I think of my son, I picture him stabbing my boyfriend and it makes me cry. I also just want to point out there's only a 5-day gap between these posts, so do with that what you will. And yes, I know that my boyfriend was being a threat. Our conversation, it's 4 screenshots, so you have to scroll down. I tried talking, but he seemed nonchalant. I made a reservation for us to sit down, dine, and talk about everything that's happened. I'm not sure he'll show up, but I'm hoping that he will. I know he will. And now for the text thread. Some of it is another language, and I'll do my best to translate it using Google Translate. So, let's cross our fingers. Google Translate isn't quite working out, but basically these first 2 messages are her desperately apologizing, repeating it, followed by, she needs a man in her life to make her feel beautiful. Then she's asking for a photo of the child, which is not fully censored, so I'm going to be censoring it even more. Then she begins posting screenshots of random therapists that you can find through a simple Google search. I've been looking for therapists. What is this supposed to be proving? You could have just typed in therapists near me, took this screenshot, then clicked off. Show me proof of confirmation for an appointment. Damn, he clocked the same thing I did. You're impossible. Nothing is good enough for you. I've apologized. I'm showing you that I'm looking for help. You just want to hate me. Don't pull that. I love you. Why would I hate my own mother? I don't want you around. Infant's name. She's not safe around you. If you would like to see me, I will come to meet you. We can talk everything out. But you cannot see her. Not for a long time. Merci. Thank you. Is she getting darker? Why? It's not a malicious question. It seems malevolent. Son's name. I don't want to argue with you. It's not the point of the conversation. I'm saying that I'm sorry. A sorry-ass mother? Maybe I am. I'm going to start going to therapy. Followed by another screenshot of another therapist. It's slightly cropped out in response, but it says, come meet with you. We can talk everything out, but you cannot see her. Not for a long time. I don't understand. I thought I had parental rights over both of you since you're 17. Technically, I can see her if I want, can't I? I don't know. Try it and see. Since I turned 18 this year, and girlfriend's name is turning 19, I'm pretty sure we have all parental rights. We both hurt each other, you and I. I've hurt you worse. It's my responsibility to fix things. I don't know how I'll ever prove myself to you, but I'll never stop trying. I made a reservation for us at restaurant Wednesday at 6 p.m. Please come. Followed by, all right, good night, Ma. Good night, son. Ephesians 4:32. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Laughing, crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji. Here's a Bible quote so that way you'll forgive me instead of holding me accountable for siding with my boyfriend who tried to boil your daughter alive. Also, you're 17, so if you're not going to let me see my granddaughter, I still have rights over both of you, so I can still see her, can't I? Yikes. Back to the text. He will not be letting me see my granddaughter. I don't know what to do to convince him to let me see her. What can I say that I haven't already said? He at least sent a photo, but I just like to hold her, want to be in her life, and I want to be better. Was I upset that he's become a young father? Well, yes. But he made his bed and he's lying in it. So I don't harbor any negative feelings towards my granddaughter over her mother and father's poor decision. As for my boyfriend, I know a lot of people were telling me that I should have broken up with him. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I love him. I've loved him for years. I can't abandon him for going into psychosis, for having a manic episode. He did something terrible, but he needs help, support, and understanding. That's the only way to help mentally ill people, so I don't have all the answers yet, but I will get them soon enough. I would just like to see my granddaughter soon. I would like for my son to talk with me. How can I convince him no one will be posing a threat to his daughter? How can I convince him to come back home? How can I make sure he'll even actually show up Wednesday? You're a horrible mother. You grounded your son for trying to be safe and now blame him for the actions of your grounding. To this point, you are still actively prioritizing your boyfriend, who during his psychosis attempted to boil your granddaughter. And you can't fathom why your son wants to remain distant from you because you're refusing to split from him? You're given the choice here, your boyfriend or your son and granddaughter. You're choosing your boyfriend and confused why your son is afraid to be around your boyfriend any further. The fact that your son is even still talking to you, or at least willing to talk to you after you, what was the wording you said? Texted my son yesterday. I had to text multiple times to make him respond. The fact that he's even willing to respond to you actually just speaks volumes. But this is fucking crazy. You can't actually expect your son just to sweep all this under the rug and call it good. He has to be more concerned with the safety of his daughter than your feelings of being alone. This one was originally posted to UhOhConsequences by Starry Gecko. And of course, it's a best of. This post specifically was collected by Lucy Aria Rose, and their tagline is, I'm keeping the garlic. The original OP is Daughter Party Throw, posted to r/Am I the Asshole, January 27th, 2025. Am I the asshole for refusing to take my daughter to her birthday party? My 33 female daughter Cleo, 5-year-old, hates pink. She has disliked the color and almost everything to do with it since she was about 3 or so. She has one pink shirt she likes and one pink stuffed animal, and that's it. My father's partner, Prue, refuses to accept that Cleo doesn't like pink. Over the years, she's made several attempts to push the color onto her. Pretty much every gift she's ever given her was some shade of pink. No matter how many times I tell her to stop, she's tried to give me dozens of different reasons why I should encourage my daughter to try different shades. It clearly upsets Cleo, but Prue keeps doing it. About a week ago, my father invited me, my husband, and our children for dinner at his place. He said he and Prue had a surprise for the kids. Right before we left home, my younger sister, who still lives with our father, texted me. She warned me that the surprise was actually a small birthday party Prue had planned for Cleo. That alone threw me off because my daughter's birthday was in November. My father did miss her actual party due to work, but also, my son turns 9 in March, so I had figured his would be the next party we'd have. Keep in mind this was posted January 27th. Then she sent me photos of how the place was decorated, and it very clearly wasn't actually meant for Cleo. Literally every piece of decor was pink. The table, the tableware, the balloons, everything. She had gotten pink banners and glued pink foil fringe curtains on the doors. Even the cake was pink. I showed everything to my husband and we agreed not to take the kids there. I texted my father the following. Hey, sister, told me everything. We're not coming. We're taking the kids to McDonald's and telling them that was your surprise. You and Prue can come if you want. We're paying. We did exactly that. My father did show up without Prue, but he was cold with us and left 20 minutes after arriving. Both him and Prue are pissed. My father is angry that my husband and I dismissed his partner's heartfelt gesture towards our daughter. Prue also told me that I'm the reason Cleo is restrictive. I also don't like pink. And I'm raising her to be an ungrateful, spoiled brat who's unwilling to compromise. She's fucking 5! To be honest, I get how I could be in the wrong here, but at the same time, this just felt like Prue trying to push something Cleo doesn't like onto her yet again. My sister and one of my brothers are on my side, though my sister did say I had been rude. My other brother is on the fence. Am I the asshole? Edit, my daughter doesn't know I dislike pink, nor would I care if she did like it. Some of OP's comments. Commenter, not the asshole, you handled it well and avoided the worst. ... Your father is the weakest link here. He should be reeling in Prue's pink obsession, not encouraging it. OP responds, my father never understood I didn't like pink either. In his case, I think it was more of a memory thing. He had the habit of getting me the same essentials as my sister, who did like pink. He probably just doesn't care. Probably. He genuinely has an awful memory and has since I was a kid, so I feel like I need to give him the benefit of the doubt. Does Prue have kids? Prue doesn't have kids. She does have some experience with children, but mostly through mine and her friends. She's never babysat my kids, and I don't know whether she's ever been responsible for any other children. And to another comment, she has a goddaughter. My eldest brother has 2 children, but he doesn't have a lot of contact with Prue. My brother isn't in contact with Prue. My brothers and I had a pretty big fight with our father a couple years ago. It had nothing to do with this. We've all apologized to each other, but our relationship with him and Prue aren't the same. I live the closest to them, so I have more contact. Cleo's tastes. I've said this elsewhere, but Cleo's tastes are pretty balanced. She loves doing ballet and playing with dolls. She also loves cars. Her dad is a big F1 guy, and space stuff. Her birthday party last year was themed after Super Mario Bros., the movie. She's never played the game. The boy stuff she likes does also bother Prue, though. Not as much as the pink thing, but enough that both me and my husband know. I understand the assumption that Cleo picked this up from me, but I don't think so. I wear pink around her. I own pink stuff. I occasionally dressed her in pink as a baby. She doesn't even know I dislike pink. What are her favorite colors? Yellow and blue are her favorites. I assume it's because her favorite princesses are Belle and Jasmine. Does she hate pink because you hate it? I don't think she takes that cue from me at all. I've said this in a different comment, but I wear pink around her and own lots of pink stuff. I never told her I dislike pink. There's a lot of stuff that Cleo loves that I hate and vice versa. I dislike The Lion King. She loves it. I watch that movie with her on a weekly basis, and she has no idea I'd never do that if I didn't love her. She dislikes Mary Poppins. I love it. I never told her I like it because I know she might feel guilty. Commenter, downvoted. I'm of similar age to Prue. When I attend school, the girls' bathrooms were blue and the boys' pink. But within a year of me attending school, it changed to pink being for girls. It was incredibly confusing. However, Prue's focus on pink is likely her just trying to be a nana, and no matter the color, she made a real effort to celebrate your daughter. I think half an hour or so wouldn't have hurt. You're the asshole. Your daughter could then tell Prue, I'd love next year to be ... OP responds, it absolutely would hurt Cleo. She would have started crying because she hates it when people push pink onto her. She's been frustrated with Prue's attempts to do that for a while now. Commenter, downvoted. Did you ask Cleo what she wanted to do? OP responds, you mean, did I ask her whether she wanted to attend a birthday party she wouldn't like 2 months after her actual birthday? No. She already gets upset that Prue ignores how much she hates pink. I didn't want to ruin my father's image too. Note from Lucy Aria Rose. Tons of commenters insisted that OP must be telling or showing her daughter that she, OP, hates pink. Quite frankly, it was ridiculous, but I'm including 2 of OP's comments. What actions would a 5-year-old read as mom hates pink? Is there an anti-pink gesture I'm doing subconsciously? Why is it so hard to believe my daughter simply dislikes a color? And to another commenter, a lot of children hate colors. I had a similar aversion to green at her age. My mother still talks about how crazy I drove her. I've literally never said a word about hating pink to my daughter. Another editor's note, just wanted to include my favorite OP comment. I sincerely believe many of you have never met any 5-year-olds. My daughter has already told Prue she hates pink. The whole point is that she keeps ignoring it. OP is voted not the asshole. It's inconceivable a 5-year-old could possibly hate a color. It must just be you. Don't you know how much effort she put into that? Yeah, I know how much effort she put into trying to push what she finds to be normal behavior onto my daughter. OP adds a clarifying post, February 4th, 2025, 8 days later. Hey guys, I ended up leaving a lot of comments on my Am I the Asshole post, many of which say the same things over and over. Because I didn't think it will be easy to read them all, and because many of you were quick to make inaccurate assumptions about me and my family, I'm writing this to clarify some things. Cleo and Prue are both fake names. We're not American. Prue is 46 years old. I don't call her my stepmother because she's only 13 years older than me. Also, she's not married to my father, but they've been together for 12 years. I have nothing against her, we're just not close. Cleo's interests are pretty balanced. She likes princesses, cars, robots, and dolls. She loves science and outer space. She does ballet and loves it too. She's the only girl in her ballet class who wears black. Her teacher calls her Black Swan. She's not a girly girl, but I wouldn't call her a tomboy either. She's just a kid who hates pink. Cleo's favorite colors are yellow and blue. Though I understand the assumption Cleo dislikes pink because of me. That's not the case. I hate pink, but I'm not disgusted by it. I wear pink clothing around my children. I occasionally dressed Cleo in pink as a baby. I own pink stuff and buy it for myself. My kids don't know I don't like pink. They've chosen pink gifts for me in the past. According to my son, I love all the colors. My father and Prue know it because I've disliked pink since long before I had the children. There's plenty of stuff I hate that my kids like and vice versa. They don't have to care about these things, so I don't tell them. Cleo's more boyish tastes also annoy Prue. Not as much as the pink thing, but enough that my husband and I know. Cleo's birthday party last November was themed after Super Mario Bros., and Prue actually asked me why I was allowing that. Cleo is open about hating pink. She has expressed to Prue several times, specifically because she keeps pushing it. Both my kids are polite. Whenever Prue gives my daughter something pink, Cleo thanks her. She'll sometimes ask Prue if she can give her something yellow next time. And she doesn't act as excited as she gets when other people give her something she actually likes, but that's it. We let Cleo choose which of her gifts she wants to exchange. She always asks to exchange pink stuff. If it can't be exchanged, she won't play with it or wear it. We either give those away to her friends or donate them to charity. Cleo does have friends who like pink. Her best friend loves it, and wouldn't complain if they threw pink parties for themselves. She'd know those aren't about her, but the second you made it about her, aka threw her a pink party, then she'd be upset. Cleo would have loathed the party. She would have started crying immediately. She wouldn't have eaten the cake. She wouldn't have had fun. I didn't tell Cleo at the party for a number of reasons. Most importantly, I didn't want her to get upset. I also knew that letting her see it would ruin my father's image in her eyes. Cleo is already upset that Prue doesn't care about what she likes, and I didn't want her to get frustrated at her grandfather too. Yes, my daughter does in fact hate pink. Yes, I'm very well aware that might change someday. No, I wouldn't care if it did. I think that's all I wanted to say here. Feel free to ask me any other questions you may have. The fact that OP had to provide that much clarifying information just speaks to the fact that she was receiving bombardments of comments from someone who has never interacted with a single 4-year-old, 5-year-old, or 6-year-old, or anyone that young, ever. Update post, February 4th, 2025, same day as clarification post, 8 from the original post. First of all, I apologized to my sister a few hours after I made my original post. I'm very grateful for what she did, but I'll do my best to keep her away from these conflicts moving forward. Thank you to those who defended her. Secondly, I went through your comments with my husband, and our main takeaway was that we did what we had to protect Cleo, even if it wasn't what we do in most circumstances. Had either of us been surprised with a party decorated with something we openly hated, we would have sucked it up and ignored it. It sucks, but we're adults, and it comes with the territory. Cleo, however, is 5 years old. She wouldn't deal with this the same way, nor would we expect her to. Knowing my daughter, she would have been miserable at the party. So ultimately, we don't regret not taking her there. On Saturday, we took the kids to spend the afternoon at my brother's place with their cousins. In the meantime, we invited my father and Prue over to talk. My husband and I told them we wanted them to abide by the following. 1. No more surprise parties without our knowledge and approval. 2. No more pushing the color pink onto Cleo, including pink gifts. And 3. No more calling our children spoiled for being allowed to dislike something. If they didn't agree to our terms, we would no longer take the kids to their place. And there would be a good chance we'd lower our contact with them in the future. Prue didn't say anything at first. My father tried to argue that we should at least thank her for the party. But I said no. I told them the problem wasn't that Prue threw a party for my daughter that was dedicated to her own interests. It was that she specifically chose something she knows my daughter hates and centered everything around it. We wouldn't thank her, and we wouldn't apologize. That's when Prue chimed in. She tried to tell us we were raising our daughter to be a brat again. So I asked, "Why are you so insistent on pink?" She didn't answer at first, but then said she knew Cleo did love pink, she just didn't know it yet. And to that I asked, "Would you be this pushy if it was about any other color?" Prue tried to say that didn't matter, but when my husband asked her if she'd care if Cleo hated blue, she said she doesn't need to like blue. He replied that she didn't need to like pink either. He told Prue that she had no right to decide what Cleo should and shouldn't like. Cleo hates pink, and if she can't be an adult and respect that, then she doesn't need to be around our children. In the end, my father and Prue agreed to our terms. I'm not confident about her, but I did speak to my father. I said I know that he has a hard time saying no to Prue, but he will ruin his relationship with me and my children if he keeps enabling his partner. My father promised he wouldn't let this happen again. I hope this works out. Cleo is a great kid, and I hope my father and Prue can finally start seeing that. Thank you all for everything. Some of OP's comments. Commenter. Narrator. It was in fact not over. OP responds, "Oh, yeah, I don't trust her at all. I've already warned my father what will happen if he doesn't stand up to her. But I wouldn't be surprised if Prue tries something again. At least my siblings are on my side." Commenter. There's no way Prue is dropping this. To even throw the party in the first place shows that she cares not for Cleo's feelings, but only for herself, as she basically showed with throwing the party in the first place. Still not the asshole, but you definitely need to lessen contact with Prue. OP responds, I don't think she's dropping it either. My sister told me that from what she saw, the party was entirely Prue's idea. When she started getting pink stuff for the decorations, both my sister and my father tried to remind her Cleo didn't like pink. Prue barely acknowledged them, and my father eventually stopped arguing, which was when my sister sent me the pictures. Commenter, your father is enabling her behavior. You need to tell them that your daughter's wants and needs take precedence over that of a grown woman with selective hearing. Opie responds, I wouldn't be surprised if we had to either stop visiting or lower contact with them in the near future. I don't trust my father as much as I wish I did, but I've warned him. If he cares about what his granddaughter thinks of him, he will listen. If not, he will learn. Commenter, I wouldn't allow my daughter to be alone with her. Who knows what venom she could spew in her ear? No one will like you if you like blue in space. People only like proper girls. What you want/like doesn't matter. When a grown-up wants you to do something, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're a bad girl. The damage could be real. OP responds, I don't trust Prue to babysit for a number of reasons, but that's exactly what I'm worried about. New update, October 6th, 2025, 8 months later. Title, final update. Am I the asshole for refusing to take my daughter to her birthday party? Hey guys, I wasn't planning on coming back, but stuff happened recently and I remembered writing my previous post. Things with Prue were mostly fine the months after my last post. On one hand, she didn't try to push pink onto Cleo in any way. No pink gifts, no preaching, no weirdly timed parties. On the other hand, Prue didn't change much about the rest of her behavior. She was still annoyed whenever my daughter's non-girly tastes were mentioned. She wouldn't say anything, but I could see she was making an effort not to. Cleo didn't seem to notice it or be bothered by it. I don't have much to say about my father's behavior, but I will say we didn't have any problems related to this. Anyway, Cleo's 6th birthday is coming up in early November. Her best friend's birthday is about 2 weeks before hers, and we're doing a joint party for them near the end of this month. The girls have both become obsessed with the Wicked movie this past year, so they've decided that will be the theme. We're also looking into taking them to see the musical sometime between their birthdays. The girls are very excited. Last month, we had dinner with my father, and Cleo started talking about the party. Prue was happy about the theme until Cleo mentioned she's going to wear an Elphaba costume, and her friend will be dressed as Glinda. The kids eventually shifted the subject, and Prue didn't say anything else about the party. I got a text message from Prue later that night. It was long and not in English, so here are some bullet points. She's been holding a lot in these last few months. I'm influencing my daughter and raising her to be a tomboy. Isn't as cool as I think. Cleo is obviously confused, and it's my fault. It's embarrassing that I won't let my daughter be special on her birthday. It's bad that my husband lets Cleo watch F1 with him. Why she felt the need to bring that up is beyond me. It's sad that I won't let my daughter be herself, which I find funny. I'm failing my daughter. She wasn't going to say anything, but couldn't help herself. The text solidified everything I already thought about Prue. She won't drop this, and she won't change. And I don't want to keep putting my daughter around someone who won't respect her for who she is. Both me and my husband blocked Prue the next day. I sent my father a screenshot of her text and told him we're lowering our contact with her. We'll only see her during family events. That means the only time we'll see her this year is Christmas Eve. He can still see the kids without her, and if she tries to pull anything in front of the kids, we're cutting ties permanently. A few hours later, my father asked, I can't get you to change your mind, can I? I told him no, and he said he agreed. I told my siblings everything. My sister is moving in with her boyfriend in January, so I'm not too worried about her getting mixed up in this any further, but I told her to let me know if anything happened. So far, all she's had to say is that Prue has been telling her she wants to apologize to me. I don't care whether she does anymore. Also, Cleo found a type of pink she likes. It's a deep magenta, she calls it purple pink. She still hates every other shade, but it's something. And because of the theme, there's going to be a lot of pink at her birthday party, even if it's not her half. Both my children are doing great, and I grow prouder of them every day. I have zero intention of updating again. I have a lot going on in my life right now, and just thinking about the fact that this happened because a grown woman couldn't accept that my child hates a color exhausts me. I'm more than happy to stop talking about this. Once again, thank you for everything. Some of LP's comments. Commenter. My favorite color is pink, and I like Elphaba more. Prue is insane, and your daughter sounds like she's doing great. Awesome job, Mom. OP responds, Cleo actually likes both, but she loves Elphaba. She didn't like Glinda until she stopped being mean. Commenter. Yeah, I didn't like Glinda either until she got a shot of character development, hoping to see more of that in the second film. Not to mention, it's concerning how Prue threw a fit because your kid likes Elphaba. Opie responds, my best guess is that she was upset my daughter specifically chose the character who doesn't wear pink as her favorite. As if she wasn't well aware Cleo hated pink. Parenting. We always try to be as supportive of our kids as possible. My son is also into sci-fi, but he's also been getting interested in film and theater lately. Cleo loves ballet and currently wants to be an astronaut when she grows up. And I do have to say I know very little about F1, but Cleo loves watching it with her dad. Commenter. Prue's issues are deeply rooted in misogyny and traditional gender roles. She just won't say that bit out loud. OP responds, she doesn't have to say it out loud, it's always been pretty obvious. Her reaction to Cleo's 5th birthday party being themed after Super Mario Bros. Will never not annoy me. Commenter. Is Prue generally socially conservative? Something about this story feels like she's scared you're turning her gay or some similar paranoid conspiracy religious bright bullshit. OP responds, she's religious and leans mostly conservative, but I'm not sure what this is about. I have 2 close relatives who are LGBTQ+, and she's on good terms with both. I think she's just upset my daughter is not the girl she wants her to be. Not really sure what else to say because I already gave enough peanut gallery commentary. I try to avoid doing that, but this one was just so goddamn ridiculous. It's incomprehensible that a 5-year-old would have interests that don't align with their parents. So when I was like, 6 or 7, fuck. when I was around that age, And if my mom found this out, she would be very upset. Not like upset in like a angry upset in the "you little shit" kind of way. I knew she hated the SpongeBob campfire song, the CAMBFIRESONG song. I knew she hated it. So in the car, when it was my time to choose a song, without fail, I would always choose that song. There were so many other songs in the SpongeBob soundtrack that I could have chosen, like When Worlds Collide, which features a robot singing with a caveman. What child wouldn't want to hear that one? But no, I choose the campfire song because I could see how upset it made my mom, and I found that funny. So I guess even at the age, I enjoyed rage baiting my mother. But I bring this up because kids aren't as influenced by their parents' enjoyments as you might think. Yes, they might latch on to things like F1, or for me, Star Wars, or just, those kind of categories, but there are also things that, parents do like that kids end up just severely disliking. And that's just part of how kids are. They're gonna fixate on things and latch onto things, and that's just gonna be their personality for a bit. Anyone who's been around any kind of child can tell you this. My little cousin right now, I almost called him my younger nephew because there's a 20-year age gap between us, but he's my cousin. He recently had his birthday party and I got him like a Lego set which had specifically a Minecraft chicken jockey. Kid has never played Minecraft, but he saw the movie and he is obsessed with it. I talked about the thank you note I got from him and how excited he was to have a chicken jockey Lego piece. But like, kids will just latch onto shit and make it their personality. God knows my parents had to deal with that. Everything from Bionicle to Shark Boy and Lava Girl to Transformers to, unfortunately, Warhammer 40k. As a 6-year-old, I should not have had access to that, but I did. If anyone's played the Dawn of War franchise, specifically Winter Assault, that was my first RTS game when I was 6 years old. And I can't even imagine the kind of ways that shaped my mind moving forward. Content warning for this one because it mentions years of abuse being looked over and ignored by everyone in the family. This post was submitted to UhOhConsequences by JSMK, originally posted to r/bestof by Raining Sakuras, and their tagline is, "Doesn't even comment." The original OP is Throwaway Regretful Dad, posted to r/relationship advice, posted December 23rd, 2019. My 55 male, wife 50 female, admitted to abusing our estranged daughter 29 female after denying it for over 20 years. And I have no idea what to do. This is going to be a long one and I apologize. Please bear with me. I admittedly have not been the greatest father. I drowned myself in work throughout my children's childhoods and was not always present, though I did try to be as much as I could. My wife and I have been married for over 30 years, and we have 2 children, a 30-year-old son and a 29-year-old daughter. We were high school sweethearts and have an incredible marriage. She's the love of my life. She's been a stay-at-home mom/wife for most of our marriage. Our son lives at home with us, while our daughter, on the other hand, is estranged from us and has lived out of our home since she became an adult. My daughter and my wife have always butt heads like animals. It was extremely difficult being between them and trying to mend things. They could not get along. My daughter has accused my wife of physical, emotional, and verbal abuse pretty much as long as we can remember. We had even attended family therapy when my daughter was in middle school, but the therapist determined that my daughter may be making things up for attention. This was also furthered by the fact that our son has absolutely no issues with his mother. It's just our daughter. My wife is a strict woman, and I've had to have talks with her about reeling it in quite a few times because she could be quite harsh on the kids, but I've never seen or heard her abuse my daughter, just the typical fights between parents and children. Chores, bad grades, smoking pot, dumb stuff that every kid does. My daughter claimed that my wife was physically abusive, slapping her around, throwing things, and was extremely verbally abusive, calling her fat, ugly, stupid, worthless, all things that my wife denied, and definitely things I believe my wife would never say or do. I defended my wife to no end, but also tried my hardest to smooth things over with my daughter. She left home as soon as she was able, citing her mother as the reason and myself as being an enabler, and pretty much never looked back. She never returned home for longer than a day visit. She officially cut us off over a year ago after a fight with her mother over the phone that I did not witness, and we have not heard from her since. My wife told me that it was over a disagreement regarding a babysitting arrangement for my daughter's child, our only grandchild. Attempts to reconcile have not been responded to. She's even refused to meet when family members have passed away and did not attend their funerals. She also has since married, which means I missed my only daughter's wedding, not to mention also losing my relationship with my only grandchild. It has been a huge blow. I began therapy shortly after my daughter severed contact with us because I desperately needed to understand what was happening. My therapist has been great and has walked me through accepting the situation and grieving the loss of my relationship with my daughter. She helped me accept that I may not have done my best with my daughter, but that I cannot change what has happened, and all I can do is wait for my daughter to open up to me again. I decided to begin bringing my wife with me. My wife was extremely against therapy at the start, but decided to come along at my insistence. First together, and then on her own. I've since been going much less, but I check in every now and then. My wife recently asked me to come to a session to support her, where she and our therapist dropped a bomb on me. During their solo therapy sessions, they have been discussing and working on my wife accepting that she abused my daughter. After my wife apparently broke down and confided that everything my daughter said was true, and how to move through this, and also potentially mending our relationship with my daughter. One of the first steps of this was for my wife to admit to me that everything my daughter said about her and their fights was true. My wife also admitted that the fight that ended our relationship with our daughter was because my wife had been calling our granddaughter fat and stupid during the already very rare visits my daughter allowed with granddaughter, who then told my daughter, and my daughter called my wife and informed her that our relationship was over, which means that granddaughter was well beyond being an infant and was able to comprehend what was being said to her. I am horrified and have no idea how to proceed. I ended up walking out of the session because it made me physically ill. For 20 years, I defended my wife and believed her when she called my daughter a liar, screaming and yelling at my daughter for lying when my daughter was pleading for me to believe her. This is 100% my fault, and I drove her away. And now I don't even know her phone number, her address, how to reach her. I haven't heard my daughter's voice in over a year, and the last time she spoke to me, she told me she never wanted to see me again because I enabled this woman who tormented her for her entire life. And even then, I defended my wife. I hate myself more than anything in the world right now. My only daughter. I think my marriage is over. I'm staying with my brother currently, and my wife has been calling me nonstop. Her voicemails range from begging to talk to screaming about how I'm not supporting her. My therapist also called and left a message suggesting we try to have another session to move forward, but also encouraged me to take my time. I know I am also at fault. I should have listened and believed my daughter, but I didn't, and can't change that. And I just want to know where to go from here. Please, I need advice. I feel physically sick. This is so much to bear. Anything helps. Update. Apologies. I deleted my last post because it gained way more traction than I anticipated, and I was worried my son would find it and cause some problems before my final decisions were made. I don't care about that anymore, though, because I have decided to divorce my wife. I read all of your comments and took them to heart, even the very harsh ones. I appreciate every single one. I did want to clarify a few things. 1. I was only uncertain about divorcing my wife because I simply did not even know where to begin. I was reeling from the therapy sessions and was very confused and honestly a little afraid. I had to face that I don't actually know the woman I was married to for 30 years and I don't know what she's capable of. I have my faults, yes, 100%, but I loved and trusted my wife. I knew I needed to leave, but I simply didn't know how. So many other things were running through my head as well. Money, assets, explaining this to our families. After 30 plus years of marriage, it was a lot to sort out by myself, and I needed some guidance to make sure I did it right. I've decided that I don't care what it takes, and I don't intend on lying to save images from our families. 2. I did ask my son about the abuse allegations. I would ask him what he saw or heard, and he's always stood by his mother. My son has no relationship with his sister. As I mentioned in a previous comment, They never got along. The fact that this was because he was the golden child was something that I had only recently became aware of, and something that I had been addressing in therapy. He stood by his mother and would never back her up during fights. When my daughter and wife would be fighting, he could come to me and tell me that his sister was lying, that he was there and saw what happened, and that his mother did not hit or berate his sister. He would say that his sister was throwing a fit or being a bitch over my wife making a normal request. Don't be out late, do your homework first, etc. Ashamedly, I believed the two of them because of a fucked up majority rules type of thing. I had two people I loved and trusted both telling me the same story. I'm not proud of that, but that was the way I saw it. As adults, my daughter has refused to speak to my son and would not come to the house if he was home. My son does not care and has not tried to mend his relationship with her. The blow-up of this is reaching gargantuan levels. My wife got to my son first because I was not in the home, and he's refusing my calls. I left him a voicemail asking him to keep his mind open and that I'm here to talk whenever he's ready. My wife, on the other hand, has not stopped calling, and her voicemails and texts range from losing her shit to begging to talk. I will be meeting with a new therapist and continuing therapy when my divorce is finalized, and if my therapist thinks it's a good idea and that I'm ready, I will try to find a way to reach out to my daughter. I do not wish to stalk her or hire a private investigator, which has been suggested here. That seems very invasive to me, and I feel as it would only frighten my daughter and drive her further away. I don't know how else I can do it, but I'll figure that out, since it likely won't be for a very long time. Thank you for all your advice. I'm happy to answer any questions or provide more info now that my mind is more clear. This is unfortunately where it ends. There has been no further updates from OP. There have been no further comments or information in regards to how this went. OP, upon learning that the two people who he trusted were actually both lying to him and fabricating the story to keep their asses safe and to throw the daughter under the bus, and he trusted that. But he's chosen to potentially be alone instead of continue to be around the people who made his daughter's life hell. The son, from my opinion, 100% knew. He 100% knew what his mother was doing. But he stood by it and defended her because he was the golden child. He liked being higher in the pecking order than his sister. So when push came to shove, he sided with the person who can actually give him more. I highly doubt the brother was anything but complicit with his mother's abuse of his sister, at a minimum. Even if OP is unfortunately never able to rebuild that bond with his daughter, to apologize to her for never believing her for 20 years and for allowing this to happen, my biggest hope is that at a minimum, he can walk away from those two and he can begin to distance himself and at least put the effort in of rebuilding, even as difficult as that might be this far into his life. But it's not going to be easy finding out that the person who you have been married to for 30 years has just been lying about the kind of wicked shit they've been doing to your teenage daughter. And when you're even being told by a piece of shit therapist that she's probably just making it up for attention, I still blame OP, but I can understand. I still think he didn't do his job as a parent, but I can at least understand what led him to be in the position he was in. But if I'm going to be honest with OP here, and I know this post is almost 7 years old at this point in time, but if you do manage to come back into contact with your daughter and she's not ready to forgive you and she still wants distance, you have to accept that. Which it sounds like you already have, though, in some of the ways that you're talking about approaching this. Just don't expect your daughter to immediately accept you back with open arms after everything that you were complicit in putting her through. Even if you were unknowing, you were still, at the end, complicit. But I don't need to tell you that because you do seem to understand this. Unlike others where it's usually oh, I fucked up, please feel bad for me, woe is me. This doesn't read like that because it's not like OP is desperate for forgiveness from strangers to make himself feel better. It's more in the boat of, I gotta figure out how the fuck to get away from this and to just move forward. I cannot believe I fucked up this badly. I don't know how to fully explain it. I'm sure some of you might disagree with me on that one, but OP doesn't come across as the whiny, I hope Reddit forgives me kind of poster. OP seems to understand that he made his bed, he fucked up big time, and his focus seems to be more on, how do I deal with my wife? Rather than, how do I get my daughter to forgive me? He seems to understand that he can't make his daughter forgive him, even entirely ignoring comments suggesting finding a private investigator to get into contact with her and leaving it as, no, I don't want to scare my daughter. That might just make things worse. That does tell me a lot, and this is just a really shitty situation all around. Everyone in the story except for the daughter is complicit in the abuse the daughter received. And the husband was definitely an unknowing perpetrator, but he still has blame on his shoulders for not protecting her. But at least he understands and recognizes that. That is all I'm trying to say. GAMERSUPPS, and if you use code OZ at checkout, you'll get 10% off, and it'll help if you just buy some tubs. Ba ba ba. GAMERSUPPS, and it'll help if you just use my code 10% off. I don't remember the rest of it because it's been so long. Those are only the parts I remember, so that's what you get for the Campfire SpongeBob song being converted into an ad-outro spot. Don't forget you can get, freak samples if you want to, give it a shot. You can do that. But, yeah, use code ODDS at checkout, and I'll catch y'all next time. Wouldn't that be super cool?